Welcome to a deep dive into diabetes-friendly eating. We're checking out a YouTube video from Healthy Habits called 10 Best Daily Foods for Diabetes. Type 2 patients should eat daily best foods for diabetics. Whether you're personally managing diabetes or just curious about healthy eating, this one's got some interesting info.
Definitely some great tips in this one.
The video jumps right into something a lot of people misunderstand: fats in a diabetic diet. It's kind of surprising that some fats are actually crucial for managing type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, it focuses on those unsaturated fats, like in olive oil. They can actually help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, which is a big risk factor for heart disease, which, as we know, is something people with diabetes are already more prone to.
Right, it's not just about the heart, though. Olive oil, especially the extra virgin kind, is full of antioxidants. They help fight oxidative stress, which is like rusting from the inside out.
And, oxidative stress is linked to, like, everything, from aging too fast to chronic diseases like cancer.
So olive oil is actually fighting that?
What's really interesting about olive oil is that it's got these antioxidants called polyphenols, and they've been shown to have really strong anti-inflammatory effects. Like, they can protect your cells from damage and maybe even reduce the risk of those diabetes complications.
So it's almost like choosing the right olive oil can actively help manage diabetes.
Exactly. It's not just avoiding the bad stuff, but adding in the good stuff that helps your health.
Now for another surprise, healthy fats that are good for diabetes. Nuts and seeds. I used to think they were just snacks.
They're way more than that.
Yeah.
Nuts and seeds are packed with fiber, protein, and those good unsaturated fats we talked about. And get this. Studies show that if you eat them regularly, they can actually lower your risk of even getting type 2 diabetes.
Wow, that's incredible. So how does that work? How do they actually prevent diabetes?
Well, it's the combo of the fiber, protein, and healthy fats that helps regulate those blood sugar levels. They slow down how fast you digest, which stops those blood sugar spikes that can be a big problem for people with diabetes. Plus, they make you feel full longer, so you don't overeat, which also helps manage weight and blood sugar.
So it's not just what's in them, but how they affect how you eat overall.
Exactly. It's all connected. Now, you mentioned thinking nuts and seeds were just snacks. Have you been adding them into your diet more?
I've been trying to. Instead of grabbing chips, I'll go for almonds or walnuts. I also like pumpkin seeds on my salads or chia seeds in my yogurt.
Those are great ideas. Even small changes make a difference over time. And remember, mix it up. Find your faves. There are so many nuts and seeds out there.
Now, for a food that often gets a bad rap, especially when it comes to cholesterol, eggs, I used to avoid them, but this video really argues for why they can help control blood sugar.
Yeah, they've gotten a bad rep. But research actually shows that for most people, the cholesterol from eggs doesn't really affect blood cholesterol levels. And for diabetes, they have some surprising benefits.
Like what?
Well, eggs are a great source of protein, which, as we said, helps keep those blood sugar levels stable. They've also got this amino acid, leucine, which helps your body make and use insulin better.
Insulin sensitivity, right? We hear that a lot, but I'm not sure I really get it. Can you explain?
Sure. It's basically how well your body's cells react to insulin. Insulin is a hormone that helps your cells take in sugar from your blood. So when your cells are sensitive, they absorb sugar efficiently and your blood sugar stays stable. But when that sensitivity is messed up, your cells resist the insulin, sugar builds up in your blood, and that's when you get high blood sugar.
So eggs help your body use insulin better.
That's right. And another thing, eggs are surprisingly low in calories. A large egg only has about 78 calories, so it's a great way to feel full without too many calories.
That's great. It's not just blood sugar and calories, though. The video also mentions eggs being good for your eyes.
Yeah, eggs have two antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin, that are especially good for your eyes. They protect your eyes from damage from blue light and free radicals, which is especially important for people with diabetes because they're more at risk for eye problems like retinopathy.
So eggs are good for both blood sugar and eyes.
Absolutely. Plus, they're super versatile.
Mm.
Scrambled, poached, boiled, baked into a frittata.
Now, let's talk about something most people have in their pantry: peanut butter. It's tasty, filling, and a good source of protein and those healthy fats. But I've also heard carbs are bad for diabetes, so where does peanut butter fit in?
That's a great question. It's a myth that all carbs are bad. It's more about which ones you choose. Refined carbs, like white bread, pastries, and sugary drinks, digest quickly and cause those blood sugar spikes.
Makes sense. So where does peanut butter fall?
Peanut butter is a complex carb, meaning it's got fiber and other nutrients that slow down digestion and give you more sustained energy. It's definitely a better choice than those refined carbs we talked about.
I've noticed that when I have peanut butter on toast, I feel fuller for longer compared to like sugary cereal.
Exactly. It's that protein, fiber, and healthy fat combo
Huh.
that helps keep your blood sugar steady and you feeling satisfied.
So it's not about avoiding all carbs, it's about picking the right ones and not overdoing it.
Exactly. And that's a good point about peanut butter, portion control. It has a lot of calories, so even though it can be healthy, you don't want to eat too much.
That's true for all of these foods, really, even the healthy ones.
Absolutely. Balance is key for a healthy diet. Now, before we move on, one more thing about peanut butter.
Huh.
Go for natural peanut butter when you can.
What's the difference?
Natural peanut butter is basically just peanuts, maybe a little salt, no added sugar, hydrogenated oils, or other unhealthy stuff. Regular peanut butter often has added sugar, bad fats, and preservatives.
So check the label and get one that's as close to just peanuts as you can find.
Exactly. Now, let's switch gears to some real diabetes-fighting heroes.
Ugh.
Leafy green vegetables.
Green veggies are like the superstars of a healthy diet. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and super low in calories. But how do they help people with diabetes specifically?
Well, for one, they're full of fiber, which we've already talked about, being essential for slowing down digestion and regulating blood sugar. They're also full of antioxidants, which protect your cells from damage and reduce inflammation. And remember, inflammation is a big factor in a lot of chronic diseases, diabetes included.
Are there any leafy greens that are especially good for managing diabetes?
Spinach, kale, and collard greens are all amazing. They're full of things like vitamin K, magnesium, and folate, which all play a part in blood sugar regulation and just overall health.
I used to think spinach was just for Popeye, but it turns out it's a blood sugar superhero. What are some fun ways to eat more leafy greens?
Don't just think salads. You can put spinach in smoothies, stir-fries, soups, even omelets. Kale chips are a tasty, crunchy snack, and collard greens can be wraps for sandwiches or burritos. There are so many options.
Now let's spice things up a bit and talk about something that's more than just a flavor. Cinnamon. I've heard it can actually help lower blood sugar. Is that true?
It is. Cinnamon helps your body use insulin better, so your cells can take in more sugar from your blood, which helps keep your blood sugar from spiking.
Wow, so a sprinkle of cinnamon on my oatmeal could actually be helping my blood sugar.
Exactly. And it's not just anecdotal evidence either. Studies have shown that cinnamon can really make a difference for people with type 2 diabetes.
There are different types of cinnamon though, right? Is there a specific one that's best?
That's a great question. You have Ceylon cinnamon and cassia cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, or true cinnamon, is the better one. It has a milder, sweeter taste.
What's the difference between them?
Cassia cinnamon has a compound called coumarin, which can be bad for your liver if you eat too much. Ceylon cinnamon has much less coumarin, so it's safer to have regularly. So if you're using cinnamon for its health benefits, go for Ceylon.
I'll be sure to look for that at the store. Now let's talk about a food that some people might be surprised to see on a list of diabetes-friendly options. Dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate, but I've always thought it was a treat I needed to limit because of the sugar. How can dark chocolate actually be good for blood sugar?
It's true that dark chocolate has sugar, but it's also packed with these antioxidants called flavonols. They've been shown to help your body use insulin better and even fight insulin resistance. And unlike milk chocolate or white chocolate, dark chocolate doesn't cause those rapid blood sugar spikes.
So I can enjoy some dark chocolate without feeling bad?
Well, there are a couple things to keep in mind. The more cocoa it has, the better. Look for at least 70% cocoa solids.
Why is that so important?
Because the higher the cocoa, the less sugar, and the more of those good flavonols. So a 70% dark chocolate bar will affect your blood sugar way less than, say, a milk chocolate bar.
That makes sense. What about portion size?
Still need to be careful with that. Even with dark chocolate, don't eat too much. A square or two a day is a good rule of thumb.
So dark chocolate can be part of a healthy diabetic diet, but choose the right kind and don't go overboard.
Exactly. Now let's dive into a group of foods that are often overlooked but are nutritional powerhouses.
Yeah.
Beans and lentils.
I love beans and lentils. They're so versatile and affordable, but what makes them good for people with diabetes?
Beans and lentils are full of fiber, both soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber slows down digestion and keeps sugar from getting into your bloodstream too quickly. Insoluble fiber helps keeps things moving smoothly, if you know what I mean, and prevents constipation.
That's good for everyone, but especially for folks with diabetes who are more likely to have those digestive issues.
Exactly. Plus, they're a great plant-based protein source.
That's important for keeping your muscles strong and feeling full.
Exactly. And because they don't cause those rapid blood sugar spikes, they're a win-win for blood sugar control and overall health.
Now let's talk about a food that's super common, rice. I know there's brown and white rice, but I'm never sure what the difference is.
It all comes down to how it's processed. White rice has had the bran and germ removed, which are the outer layers of the grain with all the nutrients. Brown rice still has them.
So brown rice is better for blood sugar because of that fiber, right?
Exactly. That fiber slows down digestion and helps keep your blood sugar steady. It also keeps you full for longer, so you're less likely to overeat.
Good to know. I'm definitely making the switch to brown rice.
It's a simple swap for better health. And last but not least, let's talk about a fruit that's become incredibly popular. Avocado.
Oh, I love avocados. They're so creamy and yummy, but I've heard they're high in fat. Is that a problem for people with diabetes?
Well, avocados are high in fat, yes, but it's the good kind. Monounsaturated fat.
What's the difference between that and like saturated fat?
Monounsaturated fats lower that bad LDL cholesterol and raise the good HDL cholesterol. Saturated fats do the opposite. They raise LDL and can lead to heart disease.
So the fat in avocados is actually good for your heart.
Exactly. And here's the really cool part. Monounsaturated fats have also been shown to make your body more sensitive to insulin.
Oh, wow. So eating avocado can actually help my body use insulin better.
That's right. And they're a good source of fiber too, which as we've seen is super important for regulating blood sugar and feeling full.
So avocados are in, delicious, nutritious, and they can help you manage your blood sugar.
Absolutely. And they're so versatile. Salads, sandwiches, smoothies, or just sliced with some salt and pepper.
This has been a really eye-opening deep dive into these diabetes-friendly foods. I feel like I learned a lot.
Me too. It's amazing how many delicious foods can help you manage your blood sugar and just be healthier overall. Welcome back to our deep dive into diabetes-friendly foods.
We've already learned so much about how what we eat every day can really make a difference in managing blood sugar.
It's pretty amazing how many tasty and good-for-you options there are.
Let's go back to those 10 food groups from the video and see if there's anything else we can learn.
Sounds good. We started with olive oil, the king of healthy fats. It's not about being scared of all fats, just picking the right ones right.
Olive oil is like liquid gold for your body. It helps lower the bad cholesterol, reduces oxidative stress, and might even protect against heart disease and some cancers.
And don't forget about olive oil's anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh yeah, inflammation is a big deal in a lot of chronic diseases, like diabetes.
And the cool thing is that olive oil has those antioxidants called polyphenols, which have been shown to really fight inflammation.
So picking the right kind of olive oil is like taking a proactive step to fight inflammation and maybe even reduce the risk of complications from diabetes.
Absolutely. It's about making choices that actively help your health.
And speaking of healthy choices, let's talk about nuts and seeds again.
Those tiny but mighty powerhouses of nutrition, packed with fiber, protein, and all those healthy fats.
And remember, studies show that eating nuts and seeds regularly can actually lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Exactly. They help keep your blood sugar steady and make you feel fuller, which can stop you from overeating and having those crazy blood sugar spikes.
It's so interesting how these small foods can make such a big difference in our health.
Now, onto eggs. They get a bad rap, but they can actually be good for blood sugar.
Right. Eggs are a great source of protein and surprisingly low in calories.
And remember lutein and zeaxanthin, those antioxidants we talked about that are good for your eyes?
Yeah, especially important for people with diabetes because they're at a higher risk for eye problems.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about peanut butter. The video says it's a better choice than refined carbs like white bread and sugar.
Oh, I love peanut butter. It's so good and filling. I'm always a little worried about the fat, though.
Well, it does have fat, but it's mostly the good unsaturated fat that we've talked about, the kind that can actually be good for your heart and blood sugar.
That's good to know.
And peanut butter has protein and fiber, which both help you feel full and keep your blood sugar steady.
So peanut butter can be part of a healthy diabetes diet if you don't eat too much.
For sure. And remember to choose natural peanut butter when you can, the kind made with just peanuts and maybe some salt.
Okay, back to those leafy green superstars. Spinach, cabbage, kale, all amazing for managing diabetes.
They have so much fiber, which is key for slowing down sugar absorption and regulating blood sugar.
And they're low in calories. Always a good thing.
And they're so versatile.
Yeah.
Salads, smoothies, soups, even stir-fried with a little garlic and olive oil.
Yum, that sounds good. Okay, moving on to cinnamon. It's not just a spice.
The video talks about how cinnamon can actually make your body more sensitive to insulin, so your body can use insulin better to keep those blood sugar levels in check.
That's huge for people struggling with insulin resistance.
It's pretty amazing that a simple spice can do so much for our health.
All right, who's ready for some guilt-free indulgence? The video talks about dark chocolate and how it might actually be good for managing diabetes.
Dark chocolate is full of antioxidants, which help fight inflammation and protect your heart.
But there's a catch, right? It has to be dark chocolate with a high cocoa content, like 70% or more.
Yep. The more cocoa, the less sugar, and the better it is for you.
So when you do have dark chocolate, really savor it. Let it melt in your mouth and enjoy those complex flavors.
Now for beans and lentils, these little legumes are nutritional powerhouses. They're low on the glycemic index, they have tons of fiber, and they're a great source of protein.
And they're super versatile and affordable, something everyone can enjoy.
Absolutely. They're used in so many dishes around the world. Soups, stews, salads, you can even make veggie burgers with them.
Now let's compare brown rice and white rice. The video makes it pretty clear that brown rice is the winner for diabetes.
Brown rice still has its bran and germ, which have fiber, vitamins, and minerals that white rice doesn't have. That fiber helps slow down how fast sugar gets into your blood, making it a much better choice for blood sugar control.
And brown rice has magnesium, right, which also helps regulate blood sugar levels.
That's right.
Um,
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about avocados.
Avocados are so delicious and satisfying, but they have a lot of calories, right?
Yeah, they do have a good amount of calories, but those calories come from healthy fats, fiber, and other important nutrients.
So they're not what you would call empty calories.
Exactly. And those healthy fats in avocados have been shown to make your body more sensitive to insulin and help manage your blood sugar.
So avocados are a yes. They're good for you, and they taste amazing.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, remember that these 10 food groups are just a starting point.
There are tons of other delicious and healthy foods out there that can help you manage your diabetes.
And don't be afraid to try new things and find what works best for you. The more you know about how food affects your body, the better choices you can make.
We'll be right back with the last part of our deep dive. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into these diabetes-friendly foods. We've covered a lot, but let's hit those key takeaways one more time before we wrap up.
Definitely. Let's go back to those 10 everyday foods that can really help manage blood sugar and just boost overall health. We started with olive oil, remember? All those good monounsaturated fats.
Yeah, olive oil is a staple in my kitchen. I use it for everything. But I never really thought about it specifically for diabetes.
Well, besides helping lower the bad cholesterol and raise the good kind, it's got a ton of antioxidants, especially those polyphenols, which are really good at fighting inflammation. And inflammation is a big deal in so many diseases, including type 2 diabetes. So using olive oil can be a good way to, be proactive about your health.
And it's not just about how much you use, right? The quality matters too.
Absolutely. Extra virgin olive oil is the least processed, so it has the most antioxidants. If you want all those benefits, go for extra virgin whenever you can.
Makes sense. Okay, what about nuts and seeds? They've got those good fats and can actually lower the risk of type 2, right? I've been snacking on almonds and walnuts more, but I'd love to hear more about how they actually help prevent diabetes.
Right, so nuts and seeds have that great combo of fiber, protein, and healthy fats. That helps keep your blood sugar stable and stops those spikes that can be tough for people with diabetes. And they keep you feeling full longer, so you don't overeat, which is also important for managing blood sugar and weight.
That makes sense. And I have noticed that when I snack on nuts and seeds, I don't crave sweets as much later on.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Those healthy fats and protein really help balance your blood sugar so you don't get those cravings for a quick sugar rush.
Okay, let's talk about eggs. I used to avoid them because of the cholesterol thing, but after all this, I'm actually starting to see them as part of a healthy diet.
Yeah, there's been a lot of misinformation about eggs and cholesterol. For most people, the cholesterol in eggs doesn't really affect your blood cholesterol that much. And they're great for diabetes. Good source of protein, which helps stabilize blood sugar. Plus, they have an amino acid leucine that helps with insulin production and how your body uses it.
And they've got those eye health antioxidants, lutein, and zeaxanthin.
Exactly. Super important for people with diabetes who, as we said, are at a higher risk for eye problems.
Okay, now for something I love but always feel a little guilty about, peanut butter. I know it's got protein and healthy fats, but what about the carbs? Is it okay to eat if you have diabetes?
Peanut butter can definitely be part of a healthy diabetic diet. It's just about choosing the right kind and not going crazy with it. Remember how we talked about refined carbs, like white bread, sugary snacks? Those are the ones that get digested super fast and spike your blood sugar. Peanut butter is a complex carb, meaning it has fiber and other nutrients that slow down digestion, so you get a more even release of energy.
So it's better than those refined carbs because it helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling full longer.
That's it. And even with healthy stuff like peanut butter, portion control is still key.
Back to leafy greens, spinach, kale, collards. They're so good for us, but I'm always looking for new ways to eat them.
I hear that. Think outside the salad bowl. You can throw spinach into smoothies, soups, even omelets. Kale chips are great for a crunchy snack. Collard greens can be wraps. Get creative.
Now let's talk about cinnamon. I love it on my oatmeal, and it's great to know that it can also help lower blood sugar. What's the science behind that?
Cinnamon has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, meaning it helps your body use insulin more efficiently to get that glucose out of your blood and into your cells. That helps regulate blood sugar and prevents those big spikes.
And Ceylon cinnamon is the one to go for, right? For those health benefits and less of that coumarin stuff.
Exactly. Now for something delicious and good for you.
Ooh, I'm always up for talking about chocolate, but I thought it was a no-no for people with diabetes. How can dark chocolate actually be good for blood sugar?
Dark chocolate, unlike milk or white chocolate, doesn't cause those quick blood sugar spikes. Plus, it's full of antioxidants called flavonols, which have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce insulin resistance.
So a little bit of dark chocolate is okay.
Just remember, everything in moderation,
Yeah.
even with dark chocolate. Keep those portions in check and go for the kind with at least 70% cocoa solids to get the most benefits.
Okay, next up, beans and lentils. So versatile and affordable, but how do they help people with diabetes?
Beans and lentils are packed with fiber, both soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber slows down digestion and how fast sugar gets absorbed into your blood. Insoluble fiber keeps things moving in your digestive system, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and helps prevent constipation.
That's good for everyone, but especially for people with diabetes who might be more prone to those digestive issues.
Right. Plus, they're a great source of plant-based protein, which keeps you feeling full and helps maintain muscle mass.
Okay, now for a super common food, rice. Brown rice versus white rice, what's the deal?
It comes down to processing. White rice has had the bran and germ removed. Those are the outer layers that have all the good stuff. Brown rice still has them.
So brown rice is way better for blood sugar because of that fiber.
Exactly. That fiber really helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling full so you don't overeat.
Love it. And last but not least, avocados. Creamy, delicious, but they do have a lot of fat. Is that a problem for people with diabetes?
They are high in fat, but it's mostly monounsaturated fat, the good kind. You know, the kind that lowers bad cholesterol and raises